In this video, I'm going to introduce Happy Stuff and Fluff's Happy Home series. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to the Happy Home series. If this is the first time we've met, you are not even going to know what Happy Stuff and Fluff is, so I'll leave a link here to that. If you've come over from Happy Stuff and Fluff, welcome. It's Saturday morning and it's a Saturday that I'm going to be putting these videos out. So if you are here, I am so pleased that you've decided to spend your Saturday morning with me. I don't think I've done any films on Saturday before, so I'm quite excited about that. So the Happy Home series then is pretty much going to be what it says on the tin. I want us to talk about ways that we can use our home environments to increase our happiness and well-being. And I hope it's a two-way street. I want to hear loads and loads of comments and things about how you've done this in your own homes. And I wanted to do this series because, well, for a few reasons really, but obviously over the last few years, we've all been forced to spend more time at home. And I think we've all become aware of just how important the home environment is. For me, COVID aside, my home has always been my refuge. Really, from the very first house we ever bought, I consciously intended my home to be a sanctuary. Now, I know that's a bit of a cliche, but I did. I wanted my home to be a place of total safety and relaxation for myself and for my family. The thing is, growing up for me as a child, my home wasn't always a sanctuary. In fact, often being out of the home, away from the home, was very often the safest place to be. And so I suppose that's where my passion for home as sanctuary came from. And I wanted to create that for my children. Now, through the relatively new science of environmental psychology, we have research that shows that the design of your physical space affects your mental state and can then go on to affect your attitudes and behaviours. Environmental psychology is a huge subject and not all about domestic interiors, but we do know that being in a preferred domestic environment increases your well-being and your behavioural effectiveness. I mean, for me, in short, your home environment can help to reduce your stress, and it also can provide a strong base or springboard for you then to go back outside and deal with all of the messes that can bring out in the world to you, and having somewhere you want to come back to and somewhere you can come back to recharge your batteries, to allow you to show up in the world the way you want to show up in the world. This is what we're talking about. So we can use environmental science to help us to increase happiness and well-being, and that's what I want for you. So, as I mentioned, Mr. Kitchen and I bought a house, and that means that instead of just talking about it, which I would have done anyway, because as I say, I'm passionate about the subject. It's a subject totally dear to my heart, and I know it's going to help you. But what it means is that I can show you, actually physically show you certain things that I'm doing in the house. So that I can hopefully, because what I want to do obviously is to create a home that suits us where we are right now in this season of our lives. A season in my life where I need an environment to soothe my soul. That's what I need at the moment. Now, what does that for me may not do that for you, obviously. But I'm hoping you're going to pick up some ideas along the way that can help you to make changes in your own home environment that is going to help you to increase your happiness and well-being, because that's what we're all about on Happy Stuff and Fluff. So let's get started then. Now, we actually bought this house way back in March, and it was a long and arduous process, thanks to COVID, of course, throwing spokes in the wheels at every turn. And well, you know, what do you do about that? Well, you do the things that you are able to do and accept the things that you cannot do anything about. You stay grounded and you build your patience muscle, which is what I've been exercising over the last few months. Now, however, since March, we've been slowly making changes to the house to tailor make it to our needs and our way of living. And we were lucky to be able to do that. As many of you know, we've been renting an apartment in the city for 3 years. If you don't know about that story, I'll leave the link here. But that meant that we were able to slowly do the work, or the messy work, the unsexy work that I call, like rewiring and so on. Anything that causes a mess, we're able to do. We wanted to complete all that kind of work before we moved in. And we were pretty much able to do that. Now, in the film, you're about to see the house is empty, but we had already done some work. We'd already completely rewired the house, the whole house, and the reason for that is the lighting and so on that we wanted to do, and I'll be talking at great length about lighting at some point. So yeah, the whole house had been rewired and we had already started on the kitchen. Okay, so without further ado then, welcome to my new home. Okay, so this, as you can see, this is the entrance hall that we're in. And it's this room, the minute we came through the front door, that sold us the house, really. The banister and the rail that you can see was different. I'll put a picture up here if I can do that, to show you what it was like before. So we've changed that simply because the other one wasn't our taste. That's all. And it's now this lovely oak, and as you can see, the black steel. I love black. You'll see that going around the house. I find it very grounding. And as I say, it's the height of this beautiful entrance hall, which is really, for such a small entrance hall, in fact, it's quite a high ceiling, but that's what we loved about it. So that's what sold us the house. Now you can see in this room, there's just a small window, awkwardly placed, and I have to say that's the only downside to the house. All the windows are small and awkwardly placed, but you know, as they say, you do have to compromise. We have a beautiful engineered oak floor, not looking so beautiful at the moment because of all the plastering that's been done, as you can see on the walls. So you're coming in when we've already done a lot of the work, especially a lot of the what I call unsexy work that you have to pay for behind the scenes in order to get what you want. And so the whole of the electricity, as I call it, has been changed and altered to suit the way Mr. Kitchen and I are going to live. So we've changed everything to consider the way we live and the way we want to live. Let me show you the sitting room. So welcome to the sitting room. Beautiful double doors to enter the sitting room. It's not a big room, as you can see, but in here we do have French doors, as well as 2 small, awkwardly placed windows. Yes, it's a mess at the moment, but you're going to see step by step what I decide to do, or what we decide to do with this room. As you know, we lived in the apartment, which was totally open plan, so the kitchen, dining and living room space was just one big space, which was great. However, I did miss having a separate sitting room, separate from the kitchen and dining room. Now, I know that's probably not a popular thing to say, but I think it's lovely to leave the kitchen and dining room and to be able to come and relax into a separate, different area of the house, which is what's happening here. I've had ideas about what to do with this room since well before we bought it, well, the whole house really, and I'll tell you about that as we go along. But for now, there are 3 things that I know the interior designers amongst you are going to frown upon. I'll get them out of the way. Okay, first of all, there's going to be a fire on this front wall, and I am going to put the television over the top of it, over the top of the fire, because I love fires, as you know, and we're going to be sitting facing the fire and the TV is going over the top. That's the first faux pas, if you like. The second one is, in this room at the moment we have wall-to-wall carpet. Can't see much of it at the moment, but for now the carpet is staying and I'm going to put an area rug on top of it. That's the second faux pas. It isn't really. Obviously you can do what you like in your home, but I know there are interior designers who frown upon putting an area rug on top of a wall-to-wall carpet. It has to be that way until the budget allows us to run an oak floor in here at some point in the future. And finally, the third thing I'm going to do that's an unpopular decision already is to paint the wooden beams. I'm going to white them out. There's enough wood. There's lots of wood, as you'll see, in this house. In here, I want them to kind of melt into the ceiling. So that's what we're going to do in this room. The double doors lead out into the garden, which you'll see later. I can't wait to get all the furniture in because I've got all the furniture. I've had all the furniture forever, and I'm learning patience throughout this process, let's put it that way. Let's go down the hallway towards the kitchen. Okay, look at this lovely long hallway. Yeah, I was very excited about this. When you come in through the front door then into the hall and then turn left down this hallway which leads to the kitchen. But first of all, on the right hand side is a guest bedroom. At least this is what the previous owners had the room as. We don't need a spare bedroom, so this is going to be my little office, and hopefully where I'm going to be filming Happy Stuff and Fluff is going to be in this little room. It is a small room, but it's perfect for me. So then we go back into the hallway, and across the hallway is going to be Mr. Kitchen's office. Yes, we're both going to be working from home, and yes, we're going to be across the corridor from each other. So this is Mr. Kitchen's office. He's not working from home totally, and so he's probably only going to be here 2 or 3 days working from this base, and so it's big enough for him to be able to do that. Okay, and then we come down the corridor. Now, what I want to do on this hallway, not corridor, I want some drama in here, and you'll see what I have in mind, what I want to create that drama, so that when you come in through the front room and you look down the hallway and you think, well, I would anyway, and you think, ooh, what's down there? That's the kind of drama I want to create in this hallway. And then to my right here now, we have a small, well, it's not that small actually, cloakroom or powder room. What the toilet is doing quite there, huddled up in the corner, I don't know. And these tiles are lovely. They were very trendy at one point. They're not to my taste, and unfortunately at this stage we're not going to be doing anything with them. But yeah, it's a nice little powder room that we'll be able to do something with. And then we are led into the kitchen, which I'm not going to let you see at this stage because I'm going to do a full video on the kitchen. Okay, so I'm dying to know what you think. Tell me in the comments box below what you think of it so far. I know you can't really see very much, but you get the bones of the building. Oh, what about that? The entrance hall. You know, when you walk into this is not me being grandiose and pretentious, but when you walk into a building like a church and you have really high ceilings and you get that kind of deep breath and a feeling that you need to speak quietly, I felt a little bit of that when I walked in through the front door of this home. That's the kind of feeling, and almost not sacred, that's too strong a word, but I felt that when we walked in through the door. And as I said in the film, it's practically what sold the house to us. So that's the first thing. The first thing that started the stirrings in my soul, shall we say, was that entrance hall. Yeah, that's how it made me feel. Okay, so tell me what you think down in the comments box below. And I have a question for you, question of the video. If you could live absolutely anywhere, what kind of house would you live in? Tell me that, please. I'd really love to know. And if you don't answer it this week, I'm going to ask you again next week. But yeah, tell me what you think. And next Saturday, Saturday again, I'll take you upstairs and you can tell me what you think about that. Okay, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for being with me, and have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next time.